Hello.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Brock all day.
Hey,
Live.
Nick.
Brock all
Hold
day.
on. Doing the
Show
other
show.
speaker.
Big Merc 83. Show show.
Show.
There.
You
Hear
see,
all the alerts on my phone going off?
from flooding alerts.
No, from you.
Oh,
Are you
for
Big Merc
live?
83.
we're live. Oh,
Wife and I were just talking about y'all.
my favorite kind of alerts. We've been getting flood alerts all morning. The creek is up to the top. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Looks like a freaking river.
Fucking moron.
Brian Munoz.
Someone's in traffic.
Good morning, Nick. How's
Hey,
it
Brian.
looking over there?
It's looking good. We got some wind. We got a couple trees down. We got the road blocked from a. Holy shit, dude. I don't know what the fuck that was. It sounded like a tree just hit the roof, man. We've got a tree down over the water feature back here. We got a tree blocking the whole road in the front of the house. Our neighbor's tree fell across the creek, landed across the road, and nobody could get through. It's a huge oak tree. So that's happened. We're the last house, man. We're the last house that can get out on this side of the road. Everyone else has to go around a mile to get out of here.
Holly Horn.
As of now,
Hi, Nick.
there's not telling
I'm
how many trees are
multitasking
blocking
right now,
in
but
between
I
me and the
need
entrance
to
of the
pop in
neighborhood.
and say glad you're safe.
Thanks, Holly Horne. Thank you, honey. Nice to see you. Well, I'm glad that you're here. Got a little something to talk about. We're going to be talking about communists that are for the government regulation of cannabis. You know, because communists just seem to want the government to make every freaking life decision possible for them, which I really can't get over that whole
Holly Horn.
way of thinking.
Tiny.
You trust these people that they're going to make all your decisions for you, tell you what kind of job you're going to have, what kind of food you're going to eat, what kind of car you're going to drive. You know, what happened to individualism? You know, what happened to art? You know, these communists just want to throw it all away. And I just get the feeling when I listen to someone speak on the way the government should be given the reins to cannabis, while they're telling you they're sick of government, you know, telling you what to do and all this shit. And at the same time, they're saying, yes, please, please, please regulate my cannabis. We need laws regarding cannabis. Those are people that don't understand cannabis, you know, and they shouldn't be speaking about it if they don't understand it. A lot of those people choose to call it weed and pot and dope and the racist word marijuana, you know, and they don't know what they're saying. And then when you try to correct them, they get all high and mighty with you, like they think they know more about it than you do. Oh, you think you know the history behind cannabis? You think you understand the effects more? Oh, have you invented some medicine around cannabis like I have? Oh, that's right. You know nothing. Okay, so come to my show and learn. All right, I'll teach you today what you thought you knew yesterday. You had no idea. You were clueless. I'm going to bring up a tweet, and I just think it was just so perfect. I decided to share it. I decided to retweet it so you guys could all see it, and I got involved in it. Yeah, Nick, we're good. Thanks for the message.
I just sent that dude a link to the YouTube.
So I've been having some fun with Nick lately from RBN, the Revolutionary Blackout Network. And, you know, I follow his tweets, even though he doesn't follow me back.
Moro. Show.
Yeah, I follow him. He doesn't follow me back, you know, because I'm just a nobody. I'm not worth following back. So, you know, one day he's going to find out who I am. And he's going to find out that I've got a whole laundry list of transgressions that he's guilty of, you know, and he can go through and he'll learn something. But until that day, I'm just going to have a lot more fun getting ignored talking about this. He put up a tweet and it says this. In fact, I'm going to put it on screen. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to do the whole deal. Check this out. Let's get rid of a couple of these here. Here we go. Let's bring this up. I love how he says, "I told y'all." I love how he starts it with that, like he's a goddamn, like he's the authority on politics and information. What? Thank you. All right, so I love how Nick starts this. I told y'all libertarians are a joke. Now, let me just chime in right here and say, yeah, well, I didn't need you to tell me that libertarians are a joke, okay? I've known they were a joke for years, and I've exposed them on the show years ago for their stupidity. So you didn't tell me anything, Nick. Let me just start with that. But let's keep going. Missouri libertarians staying neutral on the marijuana. You got to love that, right? So a black man, is using racist terminology to refer to cannabis. It's okay for him, I guess, right? Okay, whatever. Ballot initiative in Missouri. We all understand the racism behind the word marijuana. We don't have to talk about that. He obviously doesn't know, because he ignores me, so he doesn't get all the information that I put out there. They refuse to endorse legalizing marijuana, even though it's on their platform. Libertarianism in a nutshell. And what the nutshell is Missouri Libertarian Party staying neutral on marijuana ballot question. So I guess Nick can only look at words and repeat them, and he can't rise above and use his own terminology like cannabis. It's Jimmy Dore couldn't do it for so long, and so many other people. Kyle Klinsky still can't do it to this day. All these people, they for some reason they have this word stuck in their brain, marijuana, and they just can't get over the racist word. It's hilarious, and that's not even what this is about. What's up, Bad Blue Jaws? That's not even what this is about. This is about Nick thinking he's right about something when he's completely wrong about it. And you know what else this is about? This is about all of his little cronies, like we're talking about, that just fall in line with him lapping up his bullshit and agree and pile on with something bullshit he said. Now, what the libertarian said is, we want to stay neutral on the whole cannabis initiative. We don't think that the government should have a say in drugs that you put into your body. So we don't even want to touch it, because as soon as you start saying, oh yeah, we support this initiative, well, look at the initiative. I wonder if Nick looked at it. Well, you can only grow 3 ounces, and you're only allowed to have so much, and you're only allowed to do this, and you're only allowed to do that. Oh, and with a state license, you're allowed to smoke it and possess it. And that's okay for Nick, because he doesn't understand cannabis legalization, legislation, or anything. He doesn't understand cannabis, period. And he thinks that having a communist dictator tell you what you can put in your body is better than no law regarding cannabis. He literally says that these people are idiots because they don't want laws regarding cannabis. So let's go through it, okay? Watch. I digress. Watch this. He says, what kind of brain rot logic is this? It says,
all day.
We don't believe that government...
cannabis.
Thanks, Brett. We don't believe that government or legislation should be involved in cannabis. I'm going to say cannabis. Slants told the Post-Dispatch, the fewer the words, the better off we are. You know what this sums up? Who in the chat can tell me what philosophy you may have heard of from me before? A slogan, a logo, a saying, a hashtag. Does this remind you of anything that you've ever heard on this show? Right here. Let me know. It says, we don't believe that government or legislation, no legislation involved in cannabis. Where have you heard this sentiment before, people? I'm waiting.
Brian Munoz. NLRG.
I don't know what G stands for, but Brian's close. Yeah, you got it. NLRC. Thank you, Brian. You're right. No law regarding cannabis. Who's the person that came up with that idea? Oh, that's right. It was me years ago on this show. And now someone's agreeing with me. It's the Libertarian Party. They're like, we don't think the government or legislation should be involved in cannabis.
83. Hashtag NLRC, baby.
Me neither. Hey, does anybody disagree with this? You guys want government? You guys want government to tell you what kind of cannabis to smoke, where you can buy it, who you can buy it from? You want them to protect you? Do you want the government to protect you from your cannabis? You want them to tell you that you can't grow it in your backyard, you can't possess more than 4 ounces, you can't sell it to your friend, you can't sell it, you can't give any to your 17, 16-year-old child, you can't smoke any with your 11-year-old, the day that they realize that there's no God. And you're like, son of a bitch, I was 11 years old when I realized there was no God. Let's get high. You're ready for a bong rip now. Yeah, I waited 3 years, but you're ready now.
Years.
Cheers. Are we smoking? Well, son of a bitch.
I am. You keep talking about it.
Well, let's do it, son. Top of the hour. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers. Does it look like I have
Ryan
dirt on my
Munoz.
face?
I want them to protect my fucking kids at
Cheers.
school. Not
Cheers.
protect me from a goddamn planey. Big Merc 83. No cause government will put some shit in it. Brian Munoz. Plant asterisk.
You want them to protect your children? How about you protect your children? It's your responsibility. Why do you want the government protecting your children? You know, think about that. So you don't
Richard
trust the
Austin.
government telling you what kind of drugs to
Cheers,
put in your
Nick.
body, but you trust them protecting your children? Really, Brian? You trust the government to protect your children? Do you remember those Uvalde police officers who stood by and let a
Sean,
bunch of kids
aka
get killed in
Trendy
Texas
Orca.
just recently?
GM.
That's how good the government works at protecting your children, Brian. Really? Really, Brian? You want the government and the schools protecting your kids? Really? Is that who you trust to do? That's hilarious. You guys, if you're parents, it's your job to protect your own children. You know, if you're going to go to a job and go do all the shit that society makes you think you have to go do all day, and then go put your kid in a room with a whole bunch of other children, you know, and leave them unattended with God knows who, you don't know those fucking teachers, right? There seems to be a disconnect there. You've just let your children go and you trust the fucking government that tells you that cannabis is Schedule 1 to protect your children, Brian? Does that make sense to you at all? Do you really want the government protecting your children? You know? You know, you guys think you have to put your kids in school. You think you have to put them into college. You think you have to go get them an education. You think you have to do this. You think you have to do that. You know, there's a bunch of people on this planet. They don't ever send their kids to school. They raise them. They teach them how to feed themselves, teach them how to make their own clothing and survive and get their own water and do all that shit. And these kids never have to go to a fucking job. They never have to work for anybody or call anybody boss. And they survive and they do great. There's a lot of people like that in the world. The problem is you don't hear too much about them. You know, they're not on the internet, you know, interneting about it. But they're out there, man. There's a lot of people out there. Most people call them poor people. But you'd be surprised what you can do by yourself without the fucking assistance of the government. And you need to stop relying on the government to make your decisions for you, to protect your children for you. You know, if you were educating your children at home like you should be doing, you could protect your children there with your own firearm. You know? I don't know, man. I don't know. You could put them in a shooting gallery with a bunch of other kids. You know? And go try your luck. You know? Go spin the fucking wheel. But anyway, back to this conversation because it gets so good. All right, so check this out. So as we scroll down, this guy, Pikey Mikey, says, you should be able to buy, sell, and grow weed without interference from the government. Pretty straightforward. Hey, man, I agree with the sentiment. You should be able to buy, sell, and grow cannabis without interference from the government.
Have to be in school.
Too bad these people think they're actually helping their own. They're serving their own purpose by using detrimental terms like weed to refer to cannabis, and they never see it.
Not
and
economically
you'll
viable
literally
for it.
call them and say, "Look," you'll call them out, and you'll be like, "Hey, man, you know that word it's negative." And Nick was doing it; I was watching it, and the argument and the pushback. That's the common term for weed is weed. That's what everybody knows. These are the kinds of answers you get from people. You know, there used to be a common term for black people, and it started with the letter N. You know, we stopped doing that for a reason, because it was racist. You need to stop calling cannabis by a letter, by a word that starts with the letter M for the exact same reason. And until you do, don't expect anybody to do anything for you about cannabis. You know, you're the one referring to it as racist, negative terminology. And you sit there and cry about it?
Neighbor.
Really, Nick? Not Nick Brown. Nick knows who I'm talking about. I said, you almost get it. Then you called cannabis useless, lol. And then Nick jumped on, and Nick was like, you did when you called it weed, useless plant. You know, a guy didn't know. He's like, how do I call it useless? I'm like, look up the definition of the word weed, bro. And this other guy gets on and starts saying that weeds have purposes. And then Nick says, well, then they aren't fucking weeds then.
Patrick John Welder.
See, Nick has learned a lot from watching
Morning,
the show,
Nick.
and I love it. I
We've
really
seen
enjoyed
time
that
and time
whole
that the
rapport
government
between you
can't
guys.
protect our children. Even when they are shot like fish in a barrel, nothing is done about it.
Well, stop putting your children in the barrels, Patrick. You don't have to do that. Okay? Stop putting your children in the barrels, you know? Or how about this? Put some goddamn armed guards outside those fucking barrels. I don't have a problem with an armed guard. You know, fucking Hillary Clinton doesn't have a problem with armed guards outside her fucking White House. You know, Nancy Pelosi doesn't have a problem with armed guards when she goes somewhere, you know, when she travels to fucking Taiwan to try to start World War III. She didn't have a problem with guns protecting her all over the world. Huh. Isn't that interesting? And then all of a sudden guns are bad. And we don't want guards out in front of our schools because we don't like the look of that. Well, you know what I don't like the look of? Your child's brain splattered all over a fucking schoolroom fucking chalkboard. I'd rather see someone with a gun outside your classroom than your children's brains fucking all over the walls. How about that? Makes sense? You know, stuff like that makes sense to me. It's just this is silly stuff. It just makes sense to me. And then I look at these, you know, shit libs that are trying to get people's, you know, guns rights taken away from them. And then they're trying to get these armed guard ideas, you know, oh, and everything should be a gun-free zone and blah, 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 and all that shit. And I just laugh and I laugh and I laugh. And I'm like, oh, but that's okay. You're the ones with the children. It's not me. You're the ones that have to deal with this, not me. So best of luck to you. I can only offer you a solution. The way I like to say it is I can only lead you to the water. I can't force your head underneath it and drown you like you deserve to be. But unfortunately, I have not digressed. That's the point. You know, and the point here with what we're talking about with cannabis, the exact same point. None of these people want to come to my show and listen to the truth about cannabis. You know, Nick from Revolutionary Blackout Network, he won't even acknowledge that I exist.
Someone.
You know,
yes.
I think he once liked one of my responses to one of his tweets,
and have nothing to
but
do.
he won't follow me back.
I'm sure
you know, he won't have a conversation with
at
me.
a school for
So
an hourly wage.
I've gone ahead and I've done something that I rarely ever do. I've offered to debate Nick on cannabis. He wants government and communism to control cannabis for everybody. You know, so everybody can smoke the same goddamn hammer and sickle bud. Is that what you want? You want hammer and sickle bud? Because that's what everybody's going to get under a communist regime. Is that what Nick wants? That doesn't sound too free to me. But now I have digressed here because they start talking about, oh, it would be great, you know, tax and regulate and have a tax and regulate and have a fee, you know, a license fee, so you're licensed to use cannabis. If I could just find where they said this, we don't believe the government or legislation should be involved in cannabis.
Big Merc 83. Commie cannabis.
Commie canna, yeah, right.
Drop all day. Yet even with the medical in Ohio, you're still only allowed a gram a day. Surrounded beekeepers.
Medical.
Hey,
they call it medical. I
glad to see
love
you're
that.
safe.
It's medical. Okay, everybody knows all cannabis is medical. Okay, there's no such thing. There is no such thing as recreational cannabis. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. Nobody uses it recreationally without using it medically at the exact same time. That's the point of recreation. It's medical. Recreation is medical, isn't it? You know, when you go out and you take a vacation and you take it easy and you get the stress out of your life, isn't that medical? Huh? Think about it. Recreational is medical. Stop saying it, you know? Stop using the word. The recreational cannabis, that term shouldn't exist. Medical cannabis, those terms shouldn't exist either. It's silly. Licensed, imagine needing a license to grow weed or grain.
All day. Well, that's the only way.
That's what Nick wants. Nick wants it to be regulated and taxed, and he wants those funds to go to schools and police and educational programs, you know, and drug rehabilitation programs. That's what Nick says. Yeah, we should take all that money. That's like a good capitalist, you know, like a good capitalist. Let's charge people money so that they can have a license to have cannabis. And I'm telling you, I sent him just a tweet, and I said, debate me. Debate me. How much you want to bet it goes ignored? Debate me. I don't debate anyone ever.
Trending.
You know, because I'm right about
I
everything. I don't have the need to do it.
This morning.
But the fact that I go on that Twitter feed and see lots of people liking it and agreeing and piling on. Regulate us, control us. Yes, with communism. You know, this is something we could talk about because I know cannabis and Nick doesn't know anything about cannabis. He calls it marijuana, just like Kyle Kalinske does. Funny, huh? Jesus fucking Christ, these people. Well,
Sweet Lou.
There's a girl.
What about selling street drugs laced with fentanyl? You feel the government should not regulate that? Fentanyl-laced street drugs, including cannabis, has killed thousands in British Columbia alone.
Yeah, Sweet Lou, I do feel like that should be regulated. It's called poisoning somebody. You don't regulate the cannabis, you regulate the fentanyl. Do you understand the difference, Sweet Lou? You don't regulate the thing that's not killing you. Like, let's say someone's killing you with Tylenol, right? They poison the Tylenol, and you're drinking the water to take the Tylenol pills. Are we going to regulate the water? Because that's exactly what you just said to me, Lou. Does it make sense to you now? I bet it does. I bet I just blew your mind. And if I blew your mind, you could tell me so in the chat, Lou. Let me know that I just made total sense. Everything I said makes sense. Let me know.
Bill Bradley. Communism can't allow for unregulated cannabis because all agriculture has to fall under government regulation. His beliefs mean he has to support regulation.
It's psychotic.
Trendy Nick.
Yeah.
If you're able to grow your own, then it won't be unknowingly laced.
No, what I'm saying is what Bill Bradley said. Well said, Bill Bradley. I love it. I love that you guys are talking. And this other guy too. Sweet Lou. Thank you guys.
Makes sense.
Thank you guys. I appreciate this. It makes sense. Well, let's hear from Lou. Let's see if it made sense to Lou. He's the one with that said, he literally said, he wants to know how I feel if the government should regulate that or not. I gave him the answer. I'm waiting to hear back from him. But as far as what Bill Bradley said, yeah, man, communism
Sweet
calls
Lou.
for complete control over.
Brother. But not one Canadian has died from legal purchased cannabis laced with fentanyl.
Yeah, well, you know, that's doesn't prove anything. It doesn't mean that just because one Canadian hasn't died from legal purchased cannabis laced with fentanyl. And number one, you don't know that. So you're full of shit, Lou. You don't know that. You don't know that, right? Somebody could have got some from a dispensary, then laced it, and then sold it to somebody else.
Big
and I'm sure it's happened. So don't sit there and try to pull out fake facts on me, because that's really going to just piss me off.
Finding cracks in the system in order to put more fluff in
Now,
their pockets.
You said you heard me, and what I said made perfect sense, but you still want your government to regulate your cannabis, Lou. So it's funny, you know, it's like I went absolutely nowhere with you just now.
That wouldn't be the fact at all if you were able to grow and produce your own product without regulation. Bill Bradley. Government regulation really just means corporate control under our CU government anyway.
Nick doesn't see it that way though, bro. He thinks communism's perfect. Communism's perfect for him. Look, man. I can see how people's financial status can kind of have an influence over what their political opinions would be. Okay.
Big Merc 83. The government will water down the product extremely. It will add filler and preservative-like products that cause cancers, and look what they did with cigarettes, guys. Big Merc 83. Old school cowboy days tobacco, was it like it is now? Unreal.
When you are born into a family and your father goes bankrupt when you're a little kid and he is able to file bankruptcy and start a new business and from zero. And as a little kid, you watch your father make that little business under capitalism in the United States. into a multi-million-dollar company that is serving thousands of customers, giving them a place to store their stuff while putting money in the banks of hundreds of investors, if maybe 100 investors, and put food on the table and educate their kids and allow them to live lives of luxury. You understand that someone like me looks at capitalism as a positive thing, okay? And if you're born poor to parents who couldn't get out of misery, and you never get the education that you were supposed to get, and you never get a good job, and you just stay in this thing, and it's just a cycle of despair, you're going to want anything to pull you up out of that. And that situation right there will make government control and rule look good to you if it will put food on your children's table. I get it, man. I understand. But when you come in here and you want to start talking capitalism and communism with me, just understand what side of all of that I come from. And I'm going to be able to say, well, look, I know somebody who had nothing and, was able to get a loan from the bank and start from nothing. And back then, a black person couldn't have done that with a bank. It's because my father was white. And what's crazy is he was Jewish when he did it. And there was a lot of discrimination in the state of Florida against Jews back then. And he was still able to do that. He had to fight some stuff. It wasn't easy. He had to go against the grain and shit, but he did it.
Surrounded Bekeev.
So that painted a picture to me of something that was possible for people to do. But then as I looked around at all of my friends that I was growing up with and whatever, I didn't see everybody else prospering like my father did. And I started to realize that we were like a rare story. It wasn't for everybody living under capitalism was going to secure the American dream. And people like my father that were able to do it serve as like some kind of a shining fucking a castle on the hill for people to look up at and aspire to be, and just kind of keep drawing that carrot in front of them so they keep climbing up that mountain and keep running through that fucking cycle of despair. I get it, man. I totally understand it. I see it all. But just understand, I don't want to take everything that my father worked for and give it up to a fucking government that I don't trust so they can continue to fuck us. Who's going to be the leader of this communism that you guys want, that you trust so much? Because I find very few people to be trustworthy today. Once you give someone a leadership position, it all vanishes.
Sweet Lou. Personally, I don't care what ism you call it. I am only for workers controlling the means of production, not the capitalist mooches.
Sweet Lou, do you hear what you just said? You're indoctrinated, man. You think there needs to be workers in production. Listen to you. You sound like a fucking communist. There needs to be workers in production. Hey, man, how about you work for yourself? How about you go plant a garden? You go, establish yourself some food and get yourself water, secure that and a place to live, and you sustain yourself. Why do you have to go work for somebody, bro? Workers. We were just talking about this on the show 2 days ago. Remember that? Where I was like, oh, we figured it all out. There should be no more politicians. There should be no political parties. There should be no more voting. And there should be no more workers and big production companies and all this shit. Fuck that shit. Go plant a goddamn garden, man. Go learn to live off the land. And until you do, you're going to be relying on the people that you can't trust the most to put food on your table.
Bill Bradley.
To educate your children, to protect your kids.
Their version of representative democracy, when you only have one party, will not be corrupted by greedy people. It is naive. Nick Brown. Big facts.
Yeah, Brap, you don't need a fucking car, you goddamn indoctrinate. You don't need a fucking car. Are you kidding me? Who's gonna build my car for me? Really? Really, bro? You are such a fucking capitalist. These motherfuckers, they don't even realize it. You guys are so indoctrinated into capitalism, you don't even see yourselves. But school and voting and politicians and cars and workers and businesses and GDP and flags. Hi, Spidey. And flags and nationalism. What a waste of my fucking time.
Rop all day. I mean, I guess I build my own, but...
Well, you're one of the only... That's what I thought was funny, Brad, was I was like, out of all the people I know in my chat, you're probably one of the only people in my chat right now who can actually build your own fucking car. You know?
Morning, Nick.
And there you go, Brap. You could be one of the people building cars for your friends. You know? Get a few people together and there you go.
Surrounded Beekeefe.
You know, you're helping build cars. Someone's feeding you, bringing you some fucking food. You're building them a car. You know? Whatever. Make sure it's diesel, diesel.
Oh yeah, happy 420.
Oh yeah, happy 420. Spidey, happy 420. Cheers, everybody. No law regarding cannabis. Cyber, Iceman. You guys, cheers. Or not Cyber, Nick Brown.
Spidey.
Cheers.
Never mind now, happy 421.
No, it's still 420, bro. It's right here. 420 is always right here, man. All right? Don't worry about that so much. Worry about this right here. We're going to get more into this because you guys are going to love the responses to Nick. Nick saying that, you know, we should all let the government control our cannabis, man. These people have brain rot. Oh, okay, Nick. Okay. One thing, maybe he was a little high last night, wasn't thinking too clearly when he tweeted that.
Having fun? You know hemp is 42.0 in simple English gematria. Big Merc 83. Cheers. Surrounded Beekeef. Cheers.
Surrounded Bee.
Spidey. But 422 is for 22. Spidey. Happy 422, ha 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 ha.
I gotta turn my fan on. So Nick my mother Brown. Told me she didn't like my goatee.
Rop and Brown Automotive LOL.
Can you believe that? I don't like your goatee. You look like you have dirt on your face. I was like, thanks, Mom.
Spidey. Oh, never mind. Happy belated 423. What happened?
Heavy P liked one of my tweets. It was your mom was my answer to somebody. It was funny. It was a good tweet, man. When I said your mom, that was a good one.
Francesco Mora.
Okay, let's get into this. Here we go. This is going to be fun. So this all started with a tweet that Nick, Socialist MMA, put up on Twitter. He's been featured on Jimmy Dore. He was just on The Hill Rising. He's on, you can see him on Revolutionary Blackout Network all the time. He completely ignores me and acts like I don't exist. But he did like one of my tweets recently. I don't think he knew it was the white guy with the long hair that screams.
Or rather, happy belated 422.
But anyway,
happy 423 now.
I digress.
And yet, cannabis should be regulated like tomatoes. Sweet Lou. We all purchase products.
Here, I'm going to mute this.
Including the computer you're broadcasting from. And the towers that send/receive the radio signals. Built by workers/laborers.
Yeah, and we don't need any of that, you fucking indoctrinate.
4 inches toke for those.
Sweet Lou, we don't need any of that. All you need to do is put food on your table, bro. All you need to be able to do is eat, have shelter, and have water. You're gonna have the basics. You don't need any of that other shit. And when society collapses and the infrastructure breaks down, what the fuck are you gonna do with your fucking towers and you send and receive radio signals and your workers and your laborers? What are you gonna do then, Sweet Lou? I swear, talking to you, bro, it's like talking to a brick wall. You don't even think that it's possible for society to collapse. You know, and it's literally happening right in front of our eyes. And I'm not talking about this stupid hurricane either. I don't know if you're paying attention to what's going on, man, but America's kind of falling apart at the seams, bro. And, you know, another system of government is not the solution.
You are 100% correct, sir. I was referring to our modern wants, LOL.
Ooh, Lou, thank you. I was yelling. I was preaching to the choir. My bad. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. I was like, dude, why you got to give me all this heat?
Friday.
Why are you giving me all this heat?
4 feet 25 inches. Give yourselves at least high
right.
fives.
Right. I got you, sweet Lou. I got you. Right. But what are we going to do with our radio signals and our cell phones? Who's going to make our custom designed coffee mugs? Who's going to make our stuff that we need? Who's going to make our custom blown glass? Who's going to put the water in the plastic bottles for us? Who's going to put the peanut butter on our jelly and who's going to put the bread together? You got to mix the peanut butter and the jelly together first. Who's going to do that? You guys, you know, I went out to California. I lived there for 12 years, and I got just a little taste of off-grid living, just a taste of it. I got to see some people that were doing it, and it's not all that bad, man.
But also capitalism can lead to PS spending their money on vices more than their children's welfare.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem, Spidey. Their money, their decision, you know.
Spidey. It isn't just about if you come from a well-off family.
It isn't. Spidey, it is. It is just about if you come from a well-off family. Yes, it is. That's all it is. Because people that come from well-off families don't have to worry about people who don't. And that's what you're not getting. It is that, dude, that is called the economic divide. And if you are denying that that is the root of everything in this country, bro, you ain't getting it. You ain't paying attention.
Francesco Moro.
It's about the rich versus the poor.
Sweet
That's
Lou.
all it is, man.
No heat, bro. LOL. I enjoy picking your brain from time to time.
Thank you, Lou.
Also enjoy watching your
well,
podcast
I
as well.
appreciate your statements that you make in the chat, Lou. Thank you. Hey, it's me and Lou sitting here on the corner, sipping a little cappuccino, shutting it down, looking at you and looking at me. Hey, let's go on though, okay? Because we haven't even started this yet.
Generally, yeah, you're right, but not all PS raise their children righteously.
Not my concern. You know, if you're going to go out and have children, that's your problem. You know, this kind of a world, if the
Dominic,
society collapses, you shouldn't have kids.
You just nailed it, Boar. How are you?
You know, people worried about their kids in school getting shot by a mass murderer. Hey, if you didn't have the kids, you wouldn't have that worry. And that's something for future parents to think about right now. You know, that if you're going to be in a situation where you can't put a kid through school or whatever, don't have them. Ask a parent, man. Go out and ask a parent right now. Is it tough? You got everything you want in life? You know, well, I'm happy. You know, my kids have everything they want.
There are drug addicts that are rich,
and that's all I need.
Oh,
that's good. Well, you changed your priorities, and that's great, man. Having kids does that to people. That's the one thing I've noticed. You know, almost every single parent I know. But I also know parents who still party like motherfuckers. You know, every weekend, and they still live their lives, and they have a great time, and their children do too, and they're doing great.
Diet, which make well-off people.
The only problem is they're just not going to get to live full lives, man. That's what I'm getting at. These kids don't get to live full lives.
Like you mentioned earlier, poor people can be very healthy. Galeana 87. Hi, Nate.
Dude,
hope you guys are staying safe.
Look, I don't want to make too many assumptions about this Hurricane Ian thing, but let me just say this. Florida kicked the shit out of Ian, bro. I mean, we may have lost 200 lives, and it's horrible. But Florida beat the shit out of that. We ripped it apart. It came here all big and bad and shit, and Florida's like a big fuck you sticking off the bottom of the United States to that hurricane. Now look at it. So, you know, we are alive, and the river has not breached. It's almost at capacity, which is, it's amazing looking. It's you know, I can see the creek. It's right there. It's only 10 steps away from me now, actually. You know, the creek's right here. Look. I think you guys will be able to see
Surrounded
it too.
Beekeefe. What's the topic? Cannabis. Hurricane. P.S. Off-grid living. Communism. All in 5 minutes. Brop all day. I did see one guy's house get flooded all way to the top of his garage and swept out his Lamborghini.
Whoa, what?
Wow, amazing.
That guy was living on the beach.
Galeana 87.
Holy shit.
Oh wow.
Hey, Callie.
Spy Day. The topic. I think there's more than one.
We're going to be talking about Nick from Revolutionary Blackout Network, who thinks that communism is the answer to legalize cannabis and to give you access to cannabis. We're going to be talking about that in a second. All right. No law regarding cannabis.
Surrounded
bottom of the hour. Cheers.
I've seen insane footage. Houses completely destroyed.
Cheers.
Dominic Leo. Cheers. Spy Day. Illinois may legalize home grow more. Surrounded Beekeefe.
Live Cloud Chem.
Screw legalize. How about just decriminalize? Like tomatoes.
You know why Surrounded by Keith? This is why you should shut the fuck up about shit that I've already stated. Because I'm not a fucking criminal.
Heavy Padilla.
And fuck you for calling me a criminal right now. You know, you literally just saw me use cannabis. I'm not a fucking criminal. Fuck you. You know, it's more indoctrination in your mind.
Surrounded Beekeefe. What?
I'll wait till you get it. I'll wait for the words to go through. You motherfuckers, you guys just don't want to listen. Everyone wants to come up with their own thing, you know?
Surrounded Beekeefe. You obviously don't know what I'm saying.
I saw you use a stupid fucking word that called me a criminal. That's what I just saw. You know? When was I wrong?
Surrounded Beekeefe.
You just said that people that use
decriminalize means it's not a crime.
No. What you just said was that people that use cannabis are criminals. That's what you said. And that we need to decriminalize it. That's what you said. Okay? You used a stupid fucking word because you don't pay attention to me.
Dominic Leo. Wune get him. Surrounded Beekeefe.
Dude,
show me where I said that.
I'll show you right now. All right, right here. You said, screw legalize. How about just decriminalize? That's where you said it, dumbass. That's where you called me a criminal.
On the book,
you said that I'm a criminal because it needs to be decriminalized. So I'm a criminal.
Decriminalized does not
no. You're an indoctrinate. You use stupid fucking words, and no one should say decriminalize cannabis.
Come on, man.
You should say no law regarding cannabis, but you don't like that because I came up with that.
Says that.
That's my thing, right?
No TME.
That's the thing. It's no law regarding cannabis, not decriminalize cannabis. I'm not a fucking criminal. And that's the perception when you use a stupid fucking word like decriminalize. You know, for all the poor criminals out there that are using cannabis criminally.
That word does not even mean what he thinks it means. Surrounded Beekeefe. It's a federal crime and that's a fact. And you're being silly.
No, I'm not being silly. I'm not being silly. I'm being completely accurate. Actually, you're the one here that's being silly. All right? If there's no law regarding cannabis, how is it a federal crime, dumbass? See, you just don't want to hop on board, NLRC. I get it. Oh, we've got to decriminalize it. We got
law.
Yeah, and I'm saying there should be no law regarding. Why is it so hard? Hey, Nick Brown, are you here? Is somebody else in the chat?
Received 100 messages today with Restream chat.
Iceman?
Surrounded Bekeef.
All right, hey.
Decriminalize
I'm here.
Will you please explain to this guy what I just said, but in a way that he can understand it? Because I'm not making any sense to him.
That is not what decriminalized means. Brian Munoz. I'm here, LOL.
I just always say there should be no law regarding cannabis.
Did you hear that? Did you hear what Nick Brown just said?
Bekeef.
He said there should be no law regarding cannabis. When you decriminalize it, you're writing laws around cannabis. The libertarians have it right. What's so funny is this is all the conversation we were going to be getting into whenever we started to talk about this thread that we haven't even started to talk about yet, which is funny because this was the conversation that this was going to spurn, and we already got into it before we started talking about it. How funny is that? Okay, so.
Spy Day. Semantics.
Look, Keith, don't use the word decriminalize when referring to cannabis. Why is that hard for you to understand?
Payout ticket.
You give it a negative connotation when you say that. If there's no law regarding it, there's no law regarding it. You don't have to decriminalize anything. You don't have to write anything. You just stop fucking with it. You stop telling people what to do around it. That's all. It's super, super simple. It's really basic. Got a little windy out there for a second. It's really, really basic.
Friday. I heard Jewish people have the highest linguistic IQ on average of rather Ashkenazi Jewish people. Bill Bradley. That word does not mean what you think it does.
Bill keeps saying that over and over again.
Semantics true.
No, it's perception, bro. It's perception. It's not semantics. It's perception.
And listen to what I said.
No, I don't need to listen to what you said, bro, because I've come up with this years ago. This has all been hashed over and over and over again. You think this is the first time I've ever had this conversation with somebody like you? Are you kidding me, bro? This is why we're at hashtag no law regarding cannabis, NLRC. That's how we arrived here, bro, from having this conversation. I don't need to have it over again. You just need to go watch some old Nate's Garden shit, you know?
Like if I grew and sold.
Because we've had the conversation plenty of times. And this was the conversation that I was going to get into with this, because this is literally where Nick goes with this. He wants laws and regulation regarding cannabis, just like you do, Keith. You want laws and regulation regarding cannabis, because when you decriminalize something, you just wrote a fucking law about it.
Cannabis.
You just wrote a law about it. There's no need for it. It's like somebody came in before and said, "Nay, what about when somebody poisons people with cannabis?" I said, "You go after the poison. You go after the poisoning. You don't go after the cannabis." It's like when someone drinks water with a poison Tylenol pill. You don't go after the water.
It's legal here, but I can still go to prison. My point was that we don't want to just legalize. Surrounded Bekeef.
I'm not going to read your fucking comment. Dude, if you tell me to read your comment one more time, I'm going to block you from my live stream, bro. Quit telling me to read your fucking comment. You and I are in fucking real time talking right now.
Sorry.
So just keep talking to me. All right, dumbass? Read my comment. Read my comment. Read my comment. I'm literally talking to you in real time right now. So if you got something to say, fucking say it. If you don't know how to copy and paste, you're a fucking idiot.
Spy Day. He's putting the words legalize in quotes.
I mean, I'm literally listening to everything you're fucking saying while I'm responding to it.
Spy Day. That's why he wants you to read it, I think. Bill Bradley. Decriminalize moves it from a criminal offense to a civil offense.
Did you hear what Bill Bradley just said? He said that decriminalize moves it from a criminal offense to a civil offense. It's still an offense. Wow.
Spy Day.
Wow. You ever heard that one before?
Even be a civil offense. Surrounded Bekeef. That wasn't my point.
No, we don't care what your fucking point is because you're wrong. You just got proved wrong by Bill Bradley. He says it's still an offense. That's why there should be no law regarding cannabis. That's why my way is better than your stupid fucking way.
There's not only one definition of decriminalization, though.
Well, whatever your definition of decriminalization isn't my point. My point is it's got the word criminal in it. It's negative connotation towards cannabis, and we don't need that shit.
My people have used it for medicinal and spiritual purposes for Surrounded Bekeef. If a state is gonna legalize or decriminalized, which one would you choose? Those are the only two options. Choose one. Galiana 87. Before Christ.
I don't have to choose the two options that you put in front of me, Keith. I'm smarter than you. I say no law regarding cannabis. How's
Surrounded Bekeef.
It's like talking to a
about what is
bro.
Happening now
you've been in here for so long, and it's like you've never paid attention.
Spy Day. And not only one connotation. I agree. I'd rather state let's fully legalize rather than state fully decriminalize.
When there was an election and they gave me the choice between Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
I'm not talking about.
I wrote in Bernie Sanders' name.
They are. Surrounded Bekeef. I am talk about states doing this.
Or it wasn't that election, was it? It was Hillary. My bad. It was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And I wrote in Bernie Sanders' name. I don't have to fucking take your stupid options. You know? You're who do you think you are, the game show host? Who the fuck are you, goddamn Monty Hall? What is this goddamn fucking Price is Right with Bob Barker? What is this Let's Make a Deal?
Surrounded Bekeef. What? They are not my options, dude.
Dude, that's not my point, man. Keith, that's not my point. The word decriminalization is negative connotation, and when you use it, you're putting down cannabis, you're putting down someone like me, you're calling me a fucking criminal. Oh, well, we should decriminalize it.
Do y'all care
about he's a criminal, we should decriminalize it. It's a stupid fucking word. You shouldn't fucking use it, and you just learned from Bill Bradley that it doesn't even apply in the way that you thought it fucking did.
I understand your point. You are right about the word. Brock all day.
Thank you.
You're putting crime and cannabis in the same sentence. Dominic Leo.
Hey, Dommy Dom Dom.
Nay, in New Jersey it's legalized cannabis medical use only, now it's open to the public. Brock all day. And asterisk. Spy Day. Wait, Kono, what?
It's a bad connotation. It's a bad, I don't know what word. I made up my own word. It's a bad way to refer to, it's negative. What did I say? Connotation? That's not a word. I'll say the connotation of the word is incorrect. All right.
Spy Day. Okay.
Okay. Let's go with this, okay? So Nick said this. He said, I told y'all libertarians are a joke. Missouri libertarians staying neutral on the, cannabis ballot initiative in Missouri. They refuse to endorse legalizing cannabis even though it's on their platform. Okay. So I'm not worried about the fact that he uses racist terminology that much. I mean, I said something to him about it. But then he goes on and he says libertarianism is in a nutshell. And what it is it's a headline. It says Missouri Libertarian Party staying neutral on cannabis ballot question. Right? So there's a ballot initiative and they're not taking a stance on it. And I went and I looked at their response. The response was,
I got a ban on FB for commenting not all people could afford to vacate Florida. That's why some stay. Apply that's not okay to say.
But the response was, there should be no law regarding what you put in your body. So we really can't, because 3-ounce bullshit and this fucking pay a fee and da-da-da. And they were saying, we don't want any law regarding cannabis. Where have you heard that before?
Spy Day.
Me. No law regarding
Well,
cannabis.
some want a better form of legalization.
Right? So Nick goes on and he says to this, he says, okay, he looks at this and says, we don't believe that government or legislation should be involved in cannabis. The fewer the words, the better off we are.
Spy
Right?
Day.
No
So
law
that waiting for
regarding
legislation,
cannabis.
hopefully it would be race neutral like Illinois.
Do you guys see that this statement says libertarians don't want any law regarding cannabis, right? You guys are with me on this, right? Look what Nick said about this. He said, what kind of brain rot logic is this? No law regarding cannabis? So I clicked on this and I went to that article, and it explains that why they don't want any legislation going around cannabis. And there are regulations, and they don't like the fucking regulations. So they're not supporting the legislation.
Galeana 87.
Yep. I bet.
Pay a fee, you can buy a couple pounds a day depending on your illness.
I bet if I contacted the Libertarian Party leader right now on Twitter and I said, how would you feel about no law regarding cannabis? Question mark. I wonder what their answer would be. Because I have a feeling that's exactly what they're saying right here in different words. See, because it says they've long supported cannabis legalization. It's more legislation. You know, you're going to pay the state. You know, we're going to have to go see a doctor. You know how it works.
Bill Bradley.
Grady
Ohio
says
had legalization on the ballot when I lived there. It gave a monopoly to 10 companies, so I d against it. Guess I am a bad person.
No, you're not, Bill. See, this is what's happened in Florida. One company does 50% of the growing of cannabis here in the state. That is not the way it should be, especially in a state like this that's got so many beautiful areas to grow cannabis in. Think of all the beautiful cannabis that could be coming out of the state. One company does 50% of that. You're right, Bill. You're right, Bill Bradley. Psh, I drink to you. My last drop of Covfefe. I said, my response was, I notice you use racist marijuana. Cannabis is the real name, has one less letter.
Tara_Carey.
Hey, Tara.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Tara Carey. And is not racist or invented by capitalist William Randolph Hearst. The more you know. You guys like that? That was my response. So make sure you guys follow at Truthier News. That's me on Twitter. I'd appreciate it. And then my next question was, communism offers cannabis? You like I did my little, do you see how I did the faces too. And then someone else says, I'm not a professional libertarian understander, but from what I gather, there's factions such as LP Nation and the Miss Caucus. Colorado has a libertarian governor named Jared Polis, and he's roundly hated by the local liberals. The power only seems to be problematic. Okay, I don't know what that has to do with this post at all. Keep going here. Okay, this guy's E. Baggerson. Libertarianism is the most smooth-brained ideology, maintaining private property and abolishing the state. What the fuck do they think the state was created for? Smooth-brained ideology. Maintaining private property and abolishing the state. What do they think the state was created for? Well, whatever it was created for, it's no longer doing it. That's for goddamn sure. All right. You know, some of these responses are just silly. U.S. libertarians are mostly just conservatives who love pot, and they couldn't even get that part right. So another negative about them saying no law regarding cannabis. You just described PDX democratic liberal folks. Only they prefer only the finest wines with their pot. These fucking idiots. Libertarian became a popular thing to identify as in the waning days of Bush to since then. Libertarian has been code for Republican. So these people are all just bashing libertarianism right now over this because they're not supporting a cannabis initiative. And they said, why? They said they're asking for licensing. I think a tree just fell. They're asking for licensing. They want regulation. And they're probably going to want, doctors' recommendations and all that shit too. Who knows what that... Oh, yeah. They're limiting the amount of cannabis you can have. They're telling you how many plants you're allowed to grow. And the libertarians are being like, no, we don't want any of that regulation. I agree with that. Other people's argument might be, hey, it's baby steps in the right direction. This is the problem. Those baby steps always come back as the greed sets in and people start making money off of the industry. It doesn't get any better. It just gets worse. That's your starting. That's your finish point where you start from. Trust me. That's as far as you're going to get. And from then on, it's all backward steps from there.
Libertarians, they want a huge government. Less government terrifies them.
So let's see. They're still bashing.
The association of devil's lettuce with cannabis can be connected to the expression jazz cabbage and the 1942 anti-drug film Devil's Harvest.
This person said most libertarians believe in the legalization of all drugs, but certain ones are too afraid of the more radical positions. I don't get that. They were like everyone else. They prefer black markets for virtually everything. Was there one redeeming characteristic and they threw it away? Every libertarian. This is all bashing the libertarians, which I don't like libertarians, just so you all know. I fucking hate them. Just hate them. But I agree with them on no law regarding cannabis. Every libertarian I have the displeasure of talking probably really just seems to believe they should be able to warlord in their version of Mad Max fantasy, mostly because they push prepper types who are convinced they for everything they have. Yeah, that just about nails it right there for me too. I get it. Soup for everyone. Well said. I'm gonna like that. It's actually well said. Where was that? 42 followers. Huh. That's not right. Warlord in their version of Mad Max fantasy. I fucking love that, man. I love that it
Dominic
says
Leo.
Mostly cozy, privileged prepper types. It's like me. It's like me, man. Who are convinced they worked hard for everything they have. Oh no, I love it. Might as well be the Missouri Beta Republicans Party. Somebody just said pathetic. Yeah, and I think that was one of my tweets today too. No, you didn't. We told you that. That's funny. He's like, I told you. The Libertarian Party co-opted by neo-fascist Democrats. They hide a bunch of replies because they're idiots. You have to click a button. Libertarian Party is no longer occupied by libertarians. Just the Democrats took it over and gatekeep for corporations.
Born of the need for secrecy, slang has long dominated culture.
Punishment charges. You can still lock people up.
Spy Day. Sorry, cannabis culture.
And all the legal weed companies like Curaleaf are billion-dollar corporations with federal lobbyists. On the one hand, we want weed to be legal because we like smoking it. On the other hand, we like having a reason to throw black people in prison en masse. So we're going to stay neutral on the subject. Does the initiative involve taxing weed? Those psychos are very opposed to taxes. Yeah, it involves taxing it. Yes, it does. Of course it does. They should not support legalization. Legalization is a joke. Only support decriminalization of Mary Jane. Another fucking indoctrinate that thinks they know what they're fucking talking about. That headlines tells me those libertarians from that state
Josh
are a
G.
joke, but nothing else.
Good morning, Nay.
Hey, Josh.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks. Private stocks, do they believe in free market? And caps are such
words that sounded cool in the 60s and 70s. Remember Wacky Chewbacca, are woefully old-fashioned now.
Okay. So under this tweet, it keeps going. This guy says you should be able to buy, sell, and grow weed without interference from the government. Pretty straightforward.
Bill Bradley.
I said, you almost get it. And then you called cannabis useless. And that kind of pissed him off, I think. I was like, it's called NLRC, no law regarding cannabis. You and every responder to this tweet are against that, I see. Want to debate me on this, Nick? I also have no platform. Look, not a like, not a retweet, not a comment. No, Nick doesn't want to debate me. Of course not. Not the crazy dude from fucking YouTube.
Spy Day.
Not fucking
words we think of today as leftovers from the 1960s are really leftover from the 1930s, this man said.
I said, regulate us, government. Somebody said, it's completely logic free. So I said, regulate us, government. I think the logic here is that it should be legal without any type of taxes or regulations. However, you're right that they should support the initiative as it's a huge step forward. And like I said, it's not a step forward. It'll be the furthest it ever gets. Let's respond to that. It isn't. It will be the furthest the movement ever gets there, and then it's all steps backwards from greed. Just like Florida.
Dominic Leo. New Jersey has dispensaries, and no, you cannot grow cannabis at your home.
Huge step forward. Yeah, whatever. The same logic that leads to internal contradictions there, which will be unearthed if you argue them long enough. Saying that not doing anything is just continuing the status quo.
But it is important to look even further back. Drewski 956.
We support the ban. That's why their stance on interracial marriage and civil rights. Dude, the Libertarian Party has a stance on interracial marriage. What a bunch of idiots. Do they really? Why would you have a stance on interracial marriage? That can't be true. There can't be a political party that's got a stance on. Come on.
I know. My daughter called me this morning. School. That is chilly. Like it don't even get up but into the 60s today.
Spy Day. He added, terms like cannabis and ganja go back centuries, and have long been used to describe the plant and its medicinal properties.
It's so they can have their cake and eat it too. True to their no government involvement mantra, while simultaneously keeping cannabis illegal, so people convicted under unjust drug laws can never be released from prison and have their record expunged. That's real. That's quite a dude, quite a theory. Quite some theory I got there, buddy.
Spy Day. Indeed, the word Mari.
What? Trees? On my property in my backyard. Big,
I said, heck of a theory. Did you make that one up on your own? Oh my God. I'm actually kind of wondering, is that something that people are saying about libertarians? They can maintain true to their government involvement mantra while simultaneously keeping cannabis illegal.
flowers, like looks like a big banana tree, like big huge leaves on it.
So people convicted under unjust drug laws can never be released from prison and have their record
Take
expunged.
pictures once.
This Iceman.
You know what?
Okay, just making sure you can hear me. All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've had a few trees fall in the yard. We're having it's like 20-mile-an-hour winds, 30-mile-an-hour gusts right now. My neighbor's tarp stayed on his chimney. That's good. So this thing, yo, Iceman. Yo, Ice.
Dude, we're getting like 35-mile-an-hour wind,
Dude,
25-mile-an-hour sustained.
according to the map that I was looking at, it looks like it's already past us.
Spy Day. Wana was introduced to the English language as recently as 1874 and was derived from Spanish, Mr. Sokolowski said.
Sokolowski.
Brock all day. Yeah, watch out for the widowmakers hanging up in the trees.
It was a made-up word by William Randolph Hearst. He took it from the Spanish word that was very similar, meaning tobacco.
Spy Day.
And
it was the Spaniards who brought cannabis
spelling
to Mexico's land, which they hoped to cultivate for industrial
the
use.
Spaniards didn't call it marijuana. They did not. They called it, I think it was, I don't want to get the word wrong. It was like Canamo or something. They had a different word for it. And so dumbass William Randolph Hearst grabbed the
Spy
word.
Day. They had a number of spellings for the word, including Mari.
Yeah, I'm sure they did have different spellings for it. But it was William Randolph Hearst who used the word in his newspapers, made the word up, changed the spelling, made it to refer to cannabis, right? And then used that word to prey on America's racism and hatred for Mexicans. It's a racist fucking word. You know, that's the history behind it. William Randolph Hearst made it up.
Spy Day.
And we don't
Wana
fucking
and
need
Murray.
it, you know? We don't fucking need it.
Spy Day. Joanna. But unlike the word cannabis, it picked up a negative meaning.
It didn't pick up a negative meaning, Spidey. William Randolph Hearst painted it that way with his yellow journalism in his fucking rag newspapers. You understand the history behind that, right? The word marijuana was printed all over his killer marijuana. Man, you know, a young man murders his family, high on
Spy Day.
marijuana.
Joanna asterisk.
Killer weed, you know, devil's lettuce, reefer madness. There's a whole bunch of negative terminology around cannabis. The fact is, it was called cannabis in America before any of those other bullshit terms were being used. You know?
Spy Day. Originally the articles were from Mexico though, no?
Articles? No, I don't know what you mean by that. You know, the origin of where he got his stories from. One of the stories, the famous one, was out of Florida, Tampa, as a matter of fact, made famous by Hurricane Ian. Everybody's talking about Tampa. So our power flickered a few times. It never went out. Neighborhood power never went out. But there is some power outages near. But we're good.
Galeana
We're up and
87.
running.
So many things wash ashore after those storms.
I'm wondering what's going to wash down the creek, after the creek clears up. Hopefully no broken glass or anything, but
You might find the Herd Crazy's boat out there.
Josh G. Was it bad overnight? Could you sleep?
yeah, I slept. It wasn't bad.
In 2013, NPR wrote a thorough explanation of the word in which people said it had racist and anti-immigrant implications. Galeana 87. Right, those creeks are usually inlets from the ocean.
Those creeks are usually inlets from the ocean. Well, it's just really cool to see my creek the way it is. I could get in a canoe and just canoe through my creek right now, and it'd be so much fun. Or just get it on an inner tube and just float down it. That'd be badass. It'd be so much fun. But we had, my neighbors lost several trees, and there's no telling.
Spy Day.
You drive around the neighborhood.
In the piece, NPR cited news articles from the
I
early 20th century suggesting that
surprised if we find a freaking house that has a tree that fell through it somewhere in this neighborhood, because I've seen so many trees go down.
Did storm bring the temperature down for y'all?
Yeah, it's nice outside, but the tree in my neighbor's yard fell across the creek and blocked the whole road. We're the last house.
Galeana 87. Or coffins floating. That used to be a big deal. Spy Day. Juana was responsible for inciting violence among Mexicans who smoked it. It was sometimes called loco. Loco means crazy in Spanish.
Like that one guy this morning tried to justify that article saying, everybody called it.
It's Canama.
Came from loco weed.
Canama or something. Canama. I think that was what it was. I think that was what they called it. I had my Emperor Wears No Clothes books are in California. It's got the whole story. You guys should all own those books if you're interested in the history behind cannabis. It's funny because people will come in here and they'll argue with me and shit. And I'll just go refer them to the source where I get my information.
Spy Day. Suddenly the drug has a whole new identity, NPR wrote.
Yeah, well, it was William Randolph Hearst who gave it that identity, and we don't have to use that word, is my point, Spidey, right? We don't have to use the word, man. It was called cannabis. We should start calling it cannabis again. I love calling it cannabis because it exposes the history behind it. It exposes what William Randolph Hearst did. It causes people to look at that and question it. And then maybe say maybe calling it by the correct terminology, would be beneficial in getting access to it for more people, you know? And maybe asking governments to control it for us is a bad thing that we shouldn't be doing.
Spy Day. Didn't believe what he was saying too. Spy Day. In the 1930s, Mr. Chong said, jazz musicians and their fans spoke in code about cannabis because it had been demonized. Josh G.
They wrote
I'll bet Ol Hurst smoked it behind closed doors too.
They wrote songs about it, and the songs got produced. You know, there's a song called Mr. Reefer Man, and whoa. I tell you, these are called sugar
Surrounded
pines.
Bikiv. La Cucaracha.
This thing can withstand some fuck. I'll tell you. I'm looking at it, and it's so flexible in the wind.
Fried Drive. You're alive and dry.
The question
Spy
is
Day.
can the ground sustain
That's
the roots?
when words like grass, wheat. Surrounded Bikiv. Translated, the cockroach can't walk anymore because it doesn't have, because it's lacking to smoke.
That's the translation. All right. No law regarding cannabis. Oh, man. Whoa. Dude, these trees are like weather vanes. I just realized that. When you look at the pine needles, the tree will be bending one way or whatever, and some of the trees, the pine needles are just hanging, but on other trees, the pine needles are all facing like a flag.
Right, sometimes the tree will
That's where
hold
the gusts
but the
are.
roots.
Like there's no gust over here, but there's a huge gust over there on the other side of the house.
No, these winds are making it difficult to stay in a straight line for me.
No law regarding cannabis, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Surrounded Bikiv. Hashtag NLRC. Dave Campione.
David
It's windy
Campione.
as
David
fuck.
Campione.
Dave Campione. Still have power. Fried Drive. Maybe your bear will fuck off now. Fuck. All
Maybe
that
my
just
bear-
cause I ate these
Maybe my bear
nanotrails.
will fuck off now.
White people, man. Spy Day. People used to stand outside of clubs and sell tiny joints for $1, Mr. Chong said. It was just enough to give you a buzz. Heavy Padilla. Cheers. Dave Campione. It's blowing like hurricane.
It blows like hurricane. It blows like hurricane.
Spy Day.
Look at this thing, man. 65-mile-an-hour winds on the coast. It's
Dave
okay.
Campione. Crazy how call at your house and a gust at mine.
It's going to slam some more. I think we're going to get slammed again. I think it's going to start.
Furtho.
It's going to start drawing moisture out of the ocean
Dave
again
Campione.
because it's in the
Tom
water.
Asterisk.
The eye is really close to the coast, and let's see if it's still. Wow, man. It looks like it's going to whip all of this moisture and lightning and thunder and rain right into Orlando right now. It looks like it's about to just hammer us because it's all coming around that way, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to or not. It just looks like it, you know? So.
Like the wraparound.
Orlando's right here. See, Orlando's right here. Here's the center of the eye wall, which is basically
Fried Drive. Speaking of, the FBI buried 12 tons of cannabis in a New Jersey landfill, right next to a gas well which is 175 degrees. For weeks the workers would stand by the gas well and could catch a buzz. Dave Campione. Neighborhood behind me has been out of power since 2. Sean aka Trendy Orca. Did your tree survived?
What tree?
Sean aka
all
Trendy
of our
Orca.
trees basically survived.
Did your tree survive?
But
Nick?
our neighbors' trees broke off and landed on our property and blocked the road. We're the last house. You know, my neighbor's tree fell and they can't get out going this way. They have to go around the other way. We're the last house that can get out because their tree fell and blocked the whole road. And it's a huge tree. And it fell right across the creek, right where my hey man, I made a video of that. Right where my waterfall is out there. Wow. Holy shit. I might have a video of that whole area.
Spy Day. Acquired a particularly sinister connotation with the 1936 release of Re. Trina Lovin. Good morning, Nay. Fried Drive. He's talking about the tree you've spoken of for a week. The banana tree.
I got a whole bunch of banana trees out there. Oh, I may have taken the video off. It's on my hard drive now. But I might be able to find it on here. Video of the waterfall. Yeah, I don't have anything current.
Sean aka Trendy Orca. Did your tree survive, Nay?
What tree, Sean? Here, let me see. I'm 100% charged.
Spy Day. For Madness, a propaganda film meant to warn teenagers of the plant's ill effects. Mari. Sean aka Trendy Orca. The one we were watching last night on your cam behind you.
Yeah, it's fine. It can handle this wind, man. I'm watching, man. It's like it bends and it just goes back. It's just, if anything, I mean, it could uproot and fall, but it seems to be blowing that direction. So if it uproots, it might uproot that way. But I'll be watching for it, you know.
Spy Day. Wanna. The Burning Wii.
Holy shit.
Spy Day. EED with its roots in hell. Exclaimed the trailer. The movie caused a wave of fear and public debate.
Spidey's getting all the. Spidey's doing all the research right now. Spidey's learning. Spidey, get the book The Emperor Wears No Clothes by Jack Hare. It's like $25, $30 on Amazon. But it's worth it. It's worth it to own the book. But you can also just go to jackharrer.com and click on the link at the top of the screen there. It says The Emperor. You can read the whole book right there for free. It'd be fun to fucking read through that book on the show, man. You know, just one page at a time.
Spy Day. I know about Jack Herer. They printed it on hemp too.
Let's see here. I don't know how much voice I have left.
Fried Drive. Spy Day. You're late but you're in the right place. Spy Day. Jack was not afraid to call Murray. Spy Day. Wanna hemp and hemp Murray.
Where's a link to the book, dude? It's gone.
Spy Day. Wanna and all of it hemp and cannabis mostly I think.
Yeah, he called it. No, the whole book. It's funny. He used the word marijuana. But, you know.
Fried Drive. I like his second book. The Dictator Wears a Rubber.
I can't find. I can't find a link to the book anymore, man.
Spy Day.
At jackharrer.com.
I'm not late.
Somebody destroyed the website, man. I wonder if you just type in jackharrer.com/emperor. Emperor 3 cover. Chapter 1.
Spy Day. Rick Simpson said he hates to use the word Murray. Spy Day. Wanna but he doesn't mind mentioning it.
Dude, I hacked that website that fast. They hid this information. Here's the link, guys. I figured this all out on my own. There it is. There was no direct link to that. Hey, man. I just hacked a website live on this show so fast.
Nice.
I just went and boom, I got right into it. Go there, and go try to find the link for The Emperor Wears No Clothes. You know, go there and look for a link anywhere on the website. It's gone. It used to be right at the top of the screen. It said Emperor. It might still be there, but for some reason I'm not seeing it on my screen. It might be my characters or something, or the browser I'm using. No, it's not there, dude. There's nothing there. But I found it. So let me make this bigger. And this is interesting, the way this is. Look at this. So This is the text, and I found it. Chapter 1, Overview of the History of Cannabis Hemp. Explanations or documents marked with an asterisk are listed at the end of the related paragraphs for brevity. Other sources for facts, anecdotes, history studies, etc. are cited in the body of the text. Numbered footnotes are at the end of each chapter. Reproductions of selected critical source materials are incorporated in the body of the text. Thank you. Thank you. Critical materials are incorporated into the body of the text or included in the appendices.
Spy Day. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. The mom. Mom, I just hacked. I just hacked a website. Live on my show in 1 second. Why? Why did you do that? Because they hid information on it that used to be on there. Really? Yeah, you go there now and it's no longer there. They used to have links to a book, and the whole book was gone. There's no links. So I hacked it. I went into the URL and I typed where I thought it used to be, and it brought up another link that brought me to the text of the book. And nobody would know that. You couldn't click on anything. You'd have to start. Yeah. It's hidden information, man. I told my mom I'm a hacker. I'm a lead hacker. I'm all proud of that. That's badass that I did that. Are you guys proud of me for doing that?
Hell yeah.
Did you? I mean, have you gone there to see what I did? I can show you. I could show you jackharrer.com. Okay, so when you go to jackharrer.com, this is what you see. Okay, so you just get here and you put your mouse over this and it'll just take you back here, right? jackharrer.com. Up here, it used to have links, menus. And like the very second one said Emperor. And you'd click on it, it would take you to the text of the book. So I'm like, okay, well, they must have moved it. So I scrolled down and I couldn't find a single clickable link. Now, there's the book right there. That's the cover of the book. And you'd think, hey, I'll just click on that. There's nothing to click on that. You can't click it. There's no links, right? So I was
Spy
like...
Day. But yet would you start using a word that encompasses more than just something being racist when referring to what you refer to as the M word without the quotes?
Anyhow, you scroll all the way down. No clickable links. Scroll all the way down. You can't click on anything, right? You get to the very bottom.
Spy Day. The movie free.
And it's just images. Just images.
Spy Day. Fur Madness didn't mention race at all.
I remembered, though, that right here it said Emperor. And I wonder if they still have the link up. They just got rid of the menu so you can't get to it anymore. But maybe if you directly type it in. So I went like that, and I typed Emperor and hit enter. And then this page came up. And I was like, oh, this is the glossary. I was like, I can't believe this popped up. I was like, okay, it's Emperor-3. It just came right up. And I started looking at this, and I was like, I saw this link right here, and I clicked that link. Boom. Text. There's the text. That's how I found it. So I hacked that bad boy. There it is for y'all to use. You guys can go there and read it yourself. I'm not going to read it to you. But you guys can go there and read it for yourselves. It's really good information, and I highly recommend it. I'll save it as just show story there. We can go back to the Hurricane Cam. we're still experiencing. We're north of Orlando, so we're getting the brunt of this rain. I mean, if you look at Orlando, right,
Nick Brown.
you realize that we're north of
Hashtag
there.
keep it open.
Where we're probably somewhere around here.
Spy Day.
We're
Okay,
right in
but
the
yet
middle
why
of that.
not state it's a derogatory word vs a racist? Josh G. Better not be closing up. Hashtag keep it open.
Because it's both derogatory and racist. You know, anything that's racist is derogatory. So just say racist because that's more explicit, bro. That explains why it's derogatory. Do you understand, Spidey?
Spy Day. Word. Just seems to encompass more.
Yeah, it just doesn't explain why. People would say it's negative terminology. Why is it negative terminology? You know, you say racist and they're like, oh, there must be a history behind the word. What is it? That's the difference. All right. No law regarding cannabis. Bottom of the hour, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Spy Day. But it was not derogatory just because of racism.
Yeah, well, it's not worth arguing over, is it?
Spy Day. I'll call it a CLASist word first and foremost if you keep calling it a racist word first and foremost, LOL. Spy Day. Let's just agree to disagree.
I'll do fucking nothing. How about this? How about I just fucking block you from my live stream, dude? Fuck off.
Block party week.
How about me having my way? How about that? Yeah. Fuck you. You know, someone says, let's just agree to disagree. And there's a little fucking control freak. Whatever. How's that for control, bitch?
It's like I want you to know that I don't agree, but I'm going to agree kind of bullshit.
Yeah, you know, whatever. Fuck off.
Smug shit.
Have a nice go fuck yourself. That's what I like to say.
Sean
Have
aka
a nice
Trendy
go
Orchid.
fuck yourself and
Bye, Spy Day.
go fuck yourself. Ding. I got orange bud here, man. I should try some of that. Sean's like, bye, Spidey.
Hippie chick. Hey Nate, glad you're safe and online.
How are you doing? How are you doing, hippie chick? Did you get any weather over there?
Josh G. I was wondering how long he was going to keep it up before he canned himself, LOL.
I know, me too. I was like, I mean, so far I'm interested in talking about that subject, so let's see how long you can stay alive for.
Josh G.
Fucking Spidey.
People have terrible context clues and room reading abilities.
Your fucking
Sean,
little,
aka
your little
Trendy
fucking
Orchid.
troll account, motherfucker.
Hi hippie chick. Hippie chick. Just a little water. Billy Ballantyne. Why do we still wipe out ass with trees when bidets are $30?
I don't know. There's a perfectly good creek right there.
Big Merc 83.
Shit, I'm upriver.
Sorry, was handling business.
I'm near the goddamn, I'm near the top of that bitch. I'm near the feed, bro. Whoa, there's rapids in there. Look at that shit. There's logs floating down the center of it. That is killer, bro. That is so badass. Dude, when the rain stops and the wind stops, I can't wait to go out there and take some video of this creek all. So the levels come up, 7 feet, probably 6-7 feet in the creek. We've got a tree that's fallen across where the pipes are across the street, right? You have to imagine this is the way it happens. Okay, so I'm going to try to paint the picture for you. You got the road, and you got a big concrete rectangle under the road, like a support. It's got two big
Sean aka
concrete
Trendy
pipes
Orca.
through it that the water
Fuck
goes
that
through.
Spy Day troll, he just wanted to flaunt the rules and be a prick.
Yeah, I know. He was trying to say how many times he could use that word. And I saw what he was doing. You know, he's just being a little cunt. He's being a little cunt ass. It's cool. I got him. Sometimes I like to kitty bap somebody when I'm bored. You know, I'm like, bap, 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 bap. Anyhow. So the water flows through these two pipes under the road. Now, imagine this. On
Sean aka Trendy Orca. Well played, Nay.
Thank you. On the other side of the creek, my neighbor's oak tree, giant oak tree, right, with this big gorgeous plant that was growing all up through it, a vine with these big elephant ear leaves on it with white speckles. It's gorgeous, right? That shit's all down now, right? So it fell across the creek at the pipes, right? It's above them. It's got some branches down in the water, whatever. Right now, we got good water flow. I could see the water's just flowing by. Like I just said, I saw a log floating by. Nice and quick. The water's going like 3-4 miles an hour, just floating on by. If that flow stops, then I have to run down there and unclog whatever the fuck is blocking those pipes. You know, the fact that there's branches now hanging down in the water makes it much more easily for something to come along and get caught up into those pipes and start building up, and garbage will build up. Next thing you know, bro, we'll have a flood. It could take the whole road out. So,
Yep.
like here comes a nice log floating down the river, bro. Check that out, guys. It's right under that flower pot. Boom. It's under the flower pot. It's past it. Now it's past that tree. See it floating down the river? See that log floating down the river, guys? Oh my God, that is so funny. Did you guys see that? Were you guys able to see that fucking log floating down the river? That was fucking hilarious. Oh my God. So, yeah. So this tree, right? The branches are down there, might be blocking those two pipes, but maybe not so bad, right? But the tree itself.
Pride Drive. Whoa. River is way up. Look out for Cubans.
Cuban sandwiches? Pressed? Pressed? So, the tree has completely crossed the road at the pipes where my waterfall is and blocked the whole road off. And my concern is these branches that I see floating down river are getting caught up in those branches that are
Big Merc
most likely stuck down in
a Cubano
in front of those
sandwiches.
pipes, and it's going to block off those pipes, man. We're going to get flooded if that happens. We've got this whole system that's above us, and if it doesn't get pulled south on top of us, great. But it just looks like it's headed our way, you know? It looks like it's all headed our way. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, the clouds
Big
are
Merc
blowing.
83. With the carnitas and the serrano ham with pickles and mustard.
The clouds are now blowing that way. They were going across the sky this way yesterday. So, oh, it sounds great, Big Merc. Cuban sandwich, pressed Cuban sandwich. I love those damn things.
I've always wondered, like when creeks and shit and rivers, when they overflow and they get real swift, how does the marine life not get flushed out of there?
They go to the banks, and there's a lot of.
Big Merc
They
83.
love it, bro.
Yes, let's eat.
Underwater is amazing for them right now. They are just loving that shit. They're all swimming upstream and checking shit out, going places where they've always wanted to go. Because you know what they will do? As it goes back down,
Fried
they'll
fry.
come back down.
Thank you for riding Hurricane Ian.
Huh.
Please wait for your restraints to release and exit to the left. Enjoy the rest of Florida.
I guess there's less current on the sides and towards the bank.
Yeah, they swim. We might even get some alligators up here, bro. I wouldn't be
Sea
surprised.
fishing.
Wouldn't surprise
creek
you
didn't
one
overflow.
bit if I'm
Lake
sitting
Eola
here
overflowed.
and if we're sitting here and an alligator just comes walking across my yard. It wouldn't surprise me at all because they've got full access right now to everything. Gators are like, whoa, new territory. What's all this? Haven't been back here before.
Oh, yeah.
You know, alligator can swim so fucking fast too. Oh, she must be talking to my dad.
Big Merc 83. Gator vs Bear.
Oh my god. Gator
Big
versus
Merc
bear.
83. Winner fights Hawks. Dave Sea Fishing. 13 rain in Sanford.
So you guys see this hedge right here behind me? My neighbor's got one across the street. It's very similar. It's not the same kind of plant, but it looks like this. And it's very tall. Not as tall as mine, but it's very tall. It's like an 8-foot manicured. That oak
Fried
tree
drive.
fell right across that hedge.
This is how bull sharks end up in
Just
water traps
caved
on
in,
golf
just
courses.
all over.
There
the
was a
top
video
of,
of
that
a
tree.
bull shark on Siesta Road in Sarasota. From Bradenton to Siesta Key.
On golf courses. Holy shit. Yeah, man. I'm getting a big old Sheila. A big old Sheila croc. Up here. I'll sit down and crack open a beer with a Sheila.
Dave Sea Fishing. Yeah, I saw the shark on the street, tarpon in hotel lobby.
God, did the Marie drive over here in this weather? Oh, Angie. Holy shit. What the fuck is she doing out in this weather, man? Oh my god.
Fried Drive. Nowadays we call them Felicias. Bye Felicia.
So I guess the road's not blocked because somebody just got here. I mean, the back road is definitely blocked, but the road coming in is not blocked. So that's good. So the bananas are all still standing. One's crooked over there, but that's an easy fix. This one's crooked too. This one's not. This one right here is knocked over towards us. It's got to be set back up. Hopefully they won't fall over all the way. So they weren't rooted in, they weren't rooted in fully yet. They're just put in there. It had 4 beautiful bucks, a 6-pointer and 3 8-pointers, and they were huge, man. Their heads were big, their bodies were big, black face, beautiful, man. They looked at me, kept eating the grass and shit, you know. And they had, one of them had big old bloody fucking antlers. One of them had a giant rack. It was old. He had white face, dude, white hair on him, you know. And he was
Dave C.
old. You
Fishing.
could just see him walking
The birds are
slow,
calm back here.
you know. Big, beautiful. They might come back. They were here this morning. They were right in front of my bedroom window. Fucking staring at me, man. Through the window, looking at me and shit. All concerned. So I told you a branch fell on the water fountain out here.
Let me see if I have one for you. See, Ben, no problems. Marie's coming back, so we can leave.
So you could see right over there. That's a tree branch that's on the water fountain. So my mom's assuring me everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. That tweaked the whole freaking house, man. The roof just tweaked. Huh. I wonder if it's over yet, dude. We're supposed to have a lot more rain than we're really getting right now. I wonder if this thing is skedaddling out faster than they thought. Get the fuck on with you. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're not even gonna get any rain from it now. But we're getting winds from it.
Fried Drive says you still have strong easterly winds up to 70 miles per hour, fast enough to tip an RV.
Yeah, fast enough to rip a fucking tree out of the ground. But man, I got a pine tree branch down right
Dominic Leo.
there. Look at that.
That's going to back up once more junk comes down. I used to clean inlets and pipes. We had a telephone pole
On
we
this
had
other
to cut
camera,
out
that's
of there
right.
on the road.
That's
It
right.
just backed up everything.
It's right there. Pine tree branch. Some pine cones on it and shit. It must have come off the roof, man. I'm assuming it's huge. I mean, it's not huge, but for where it is and where it came from, I'm like, holy shit, dude. There's no tree anywhere around here. It must have come down off the roof, but what tree did it break off of? Wow. Oh my goodness.
Fried Drive. I always used to wish the hurricane would blow away certain neighbors.
Don't do that. That's bad. That's really bad. Oh my god. One of my banana tree leaves has worked its way out of the... Oh, the wind's going to destroy that. Worked its way out of the cage. And the ones that have the leaves cut off them, they're all aerodynamic. The wind's not messing with them at all. They're just staked in and doing fine. Oh man, dude, my banana trees down there, they're in a cage. They are underwater, man.
Josh
You
G.
just see the tops of one
Any
of them.
flooding in the neighborhood?
I don't know. I can't leave my house right now, Josh. I have no idea. I mean, my creek is up about six to 7 feet. I'm thinking the creek level. It's not breaching. You know, it would probably have to come up another 2 feet, maybe to breach our yard.
Dave C.
It might
Fishing.
have to come up a full 3
Is
feet
the creek rushing fast?
to breach our yard. The creek is going
Maria
6,
Kinford.
7 miles an hour, bro. It's 6 miles an hour, something like that. It's a very fast walk. Oh yeah, bro. If I see another log coming by, I'll show you how fast the creek's going.
Dave C. Fishing. That's fast as hell.
Yeah, it's moving. It'd be a fun ride if you were on a raft. You know, on an inner tube, it would be just perfect. Be so fun.
Maria Kinford. Hot.
You could see, it would be so cool to see my house from the creek floating past it, you know? Bad as fuck. I don't know how high the rear creek is. So I got to get back there and see. I'm assuming it's the exact same height as this.
Pretty cool to have a drone.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. You get a much better perspective, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Dave C. Fishing. Wonder if Little Wekiva flooded.
They say
all day.
All those stuff
Didn't have a
is
good tool to take the serpentine belt off, so I made
maximum
one.
capacity right now.
Fried Drive. I was in a hurricane while working a circus in St. Augustine that took the big top out of the ground and laid it over an entire Ford dealership. The moonbounce flew 6 miles away and animals escaped. Dave C. Fishing. It's raining again. Maria Kinford. How are you?
6 miles away. God. Maria. Good. How are you? Thank you for asking. I'm looking at this weather. I hope you guys can... Yeah, I hope you guys are getting an idea of what's going on out here. Because it is... The wind is just going, man.
Oh.
I went out there yesterday. There was a branch that was loose on one of those flowering trees, and I tied it up, twisted it into another one, and it stayed up in there, so it didn't break off. If that
Maria
thing was
Kinford.
loose, it would have been down by now.
Or you in the hurricane?
Yeah, I'm in a hurricane right now. It's a tropical storm. It's been downgraded.
Josh G. Has there been a lot of damage down south?
Yes, there's been a lot
I
of
haven't
damage.
even
There's
checked the
2.5
coverage
million.
yet at work.
There were up to 2.5 million people without power. God, I hope those pipes are doing their job down there at the road. We're still flowing fast, so I'm assuming it is. There's a nice man. There's a center of that creek. The edges are kind of just chilling, and then the center is just pumping. It's like it looks almost like I'd say a good 6 miles an hour.
Fried Drive. Yes, from Cape
5.
Coral to Bradenton is underwater. Sharks in the streets and DeSantis is on the loose trafficking people to upscale vacation towns.
Somebody was on Twitter saying DeSantis spent $12 million of taxpayer
Maria
money
Kinford.
to ship those people.
Have a good day.
I was like, you're fake news. I was like, it was only 600,000. It's still a lot of money, but you're fucking big news. Fucking people lying to make their point. It's just so stupid. He said he'd use all the money to fucking ship people out of the state. That's what he said he'd do with it. Get them out of our state. Get them out of our beautiful state. We don't want those people here. Where's Iceman at?
I don't know. They dropped off about 20 minutes ago.
I want to know what the weather was like over there, if he's still getting any rain. According to this, there's rain over there. According to this map.
Josh G. I wonder if a gator will get pushed out down your creek with all that flow, lol.
That's what we said.
Sean aka
We just want to
Trendy
come
Orchid.
down here to just check it out.
Hashtag
You know?
keep it open.
I said I wouldn't be
Maria
surprised if we
Kinford.
see one coming across the yard.
Do you like AD music?
Dude, I'd laugh my ass off if I saw one right now, right when we're talking about it. Do I like 80 music? Yes, I like 80 music.
Maria Kinford. I like you.
I like you too, Maria. All right, so.
You know when you're eating that? No. No good. No.
Mom, that's his. You gave him that.
I didn't give it to him.
Yeah, remember he took it. He said, "Oh, he can have that."
But he's eating this crap.
Mhm.
Oh well, he shouldn't be eating the crap. Yeah, he likes to pull that out.
Well, I don't like eating it.
He's not eating it.
No, baby. I don't like this. Okay, you're gonna get sick.
He wants somebody to play with him.
Should I just throw this in the garbage bin?
The
Fried
head? No, he
So how
loves.
about
That's one
that
of his
Karsten
favorite
shit I
toys.
found? I just thought of him and started looking.
The body's in
He
the.
just got hooked at the time he vanished. My guess is she made him quit smoking. Maria Kinford. Or you a dad.
Or you a dad? No, I'm not a dad. The Karsten shit you found? What did you find? Billy, what are you talking about?
Big Merc 83. We have a 1-year-old wiener dog mini. Every time we get a new toys, the fun thing for him is to rip them up and do stuff them. Piles of fluff everywhere. He does not eat it though, he just these stuffs.
Wiener dog.
Fried Drive. Oh, you must ignore my Twitter messages. All good.
Dude, I'm sorry. You got to tell me which channel you're talking about. What did you find?
Maria Kinford. Hi.
What did you find, bro?
Fried Drive. I found Karsten Mank.
You found him? He's alive? That's great news, man.
Fried Drive.
Where'd you find him?
Alive and married.
Where did you find him? Thought he was dead, man.
Yeah, I've tried to find him too.
Whoa, my fucking screens keep going black on me. I hate that shit. Fucking sleep mode or something. You found Karsten. He's alive. That's great. Dude, my backyard is such a disaster. It looks like a bomb went off. There's leaves and shit everywhere. It was so pretty before.
Fried Drive. I found every German Mank account on Facebook and came across a woman married to a Karsten Mank in Munich. Looked through the pics and found him in May of 2022. Alive.
Good, man.
Oh shit.
That's crazy, dude.
Dave Sea Fishing. 200-year flood in downtown Orlando. Dave Sea Fishing. Little Wekiva River, highest it's ever recorded, they say.
Yeah, highest ever. Oh. Damn. Well, I'm jumping into the Little Cover right now. This is going into the Little Cover. I can't wait to go down there and see what my dam looks like. Holy shit. This thing probably destroyed it. It's got to be all... I'm assuming, man. I wonder how much water's coming through those pipes.
Fried Drive. So my guess is she just put him on a leash. Hey, as long as he's alive and happy.
I
Fine.
know, right? It's good. Let's take a look closer at our area here. We are right there. So it's showing this is where we are. So ice should be ice is like in here. I'm in here. And it's showing rain activity, you know. But it's getting less and less. So I don't think it's coming back. I think this was it, man. I don't think it's going to whip back around. I think we're good. Now it's South Carolina that's going to get hit. It's going to go back up to 75 mile an hour winds. And then hit Charleston, Charlotte, and get into a little bit of Kentucky and Tennessee. That's the projection now. Billy, how's the weather over there where you are? God, I can't wait to go outside, man. I gotta take Rogan out there.
Fried Drive. Dry and 60.
This rain's not supposed to completely stop until well, looking at this thing, you know, you would think it'd be gone pretty soon. Because this white is just clouds. It keeps moving north, north, north. It might pick up speed in the ocean again. And move out faster.
They're saying it,
Josh G.
it might pick up a little
How
bit.
ransacked
not
were
much.
the stores around Une?
Stores? I don't know. Josh, I have no idea. I've been in my house. I've been out to the stores.
Fried Drive. I'm scheduled for storms Saturday to Monday though. High of 70. Dave C. Fishing.
No one's at work.
Stores are closed. Dave C. Fishing. No one's at work.
The police are out there. My weather app says the rain's gonna let up.
Josh G. People in my areas all panic and buy milk and bread like it will never be produced again. LOL.
7 p.m., 6 p.m.
Dave C.
Should
Fishing.
be no more rain.
Police and fire and tree/power guys.
But it's going to be light rain at 2 p.m., really light rain at 2 p.m. 1 p.m. it's 0.13, and at 2 p.m. it's 0.06, then 0.05 at 3, then 0.03 at 4, then 0.01 at 5, then at 6 p.m. 0.004,
Fried Drive.
7 p.m. 004.
Stores are closed, but luckily the food trucks are in the middle of the Atlantic now.
Food trucks. Hopefully, Docky Hollandaise and his food truck are okay.
Fried Drive. Oops, forgot about poor Doc.
I'm afraid this whole yard's going to have to be raked, hand raked. I mean, I could use a blower when it's all dry. Get a lot of it with the blower.
Fried Drive. I know Tampa is pretty fine. My brother threw a toga party last night. 0 fucks.
Your brother lives in Tampa? He's wearing togas in Tampa? Togas in Tampa? Hey, he's got togas in Tampa? Togas in Tampa?
Dave C. Fishing. Yeah, they're crazy in Tampa. I saw parties too.
Look at this rain. All of a sudden it's raining hard. Holy shit, dude.
Fried Drive. Yeah, he owns Angel Air Conditioning. Tampa St. Pete. Sean aka Trendy Orca. Toga party 0 fucks, that's awesome.
So 2 hours. It's actually 3 hours. It's supposed to really let up in 3 hours. Angel Air Conditioning, Tampa St. Pete. You know, there is another creek. It's a seasonal creek, and it's going to be big. That's one that's going to be worth looking at. It's over there. It drains into ours, and it's going to be going big time. We'll check that out.
Dave C. Fishing. Where does your creek come from? A pond?
Sable Point Country Club golf course, which is a spring-fed system of lakes. Some big lakes that originate on the golf course, and they drain through other lakes, and then they eventually come down my creek. It's all spring-fed. There's 2 springs out there. Another one is on a privately owned adult retirement community. They've got a spring that drains out into my creek too. And the other one's just retention. It's seasonal. But this should be interesting to see what the creek brings down. And to see if these two pipes get blocked because there's a tree in front of them, you know? Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Dave C. Fishing. On Google, your whole neighborhood has a flash flood icon on it. Dave C. Fishing. Google Maps.
Flash flood, yeah. We've been getting flash flood warnings all morning. They were talking about that on the news. One thing's for sure, I know exactly where it would be coming from. You know, if it were to happen, it'd be coming from back there, where the lakes are. But this could change the whole dynamic of the creek. Something like this could be good, could be bad. Be interesting to see what it does to the dam that's at the top of it, where the lakes are. That'll be worth walking down there after this all goes back down, or taking a boat up there. You know, preferably a motorized boat. It'd be fucking badass, man. It'd be badass to take a boat up there, because it'd be totally different, man. Oh my god, there'd be wide open areas back there now, where it's totally flooded out. You guys, we've been live for 2.5 hours. I'm gonna cut the show and go eat, hang out, try to get outside, take the dog out, and do some things. All right, love you guys. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys on the next show. What do you say? Did you guys enjoy the coverage today? I hope you did. There we go. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, all of you. I really appreciate it. You guys take care. Bye now. Oh, check me out on Twitter at Truthier News. Come on over to at Truthier News on Twitter, guys. I'll see you later today.
Drop all day.